Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. I was browsing stuff in my phone there. We'd love to hear from you tonight. So we have a phone number you can call, and the phone number should be clearly displayed on your screen at this moment. You can call that number. You can also email us, and that email address should be up there too. But you never know in this day and time. So the email address is kechols47 at gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you either way by phone or by email. And we have some emails. Just speak among yourselves. So just keep yourself busy while I open my email. In fact, why don't I just answer the phone? Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening. Can you see us?
Yes, sir, you're on tonight. I
Excellent.
didn't do what said I was going to do today.
You should always do what you say you're going to do. Why didn't you do it?
I didn't have to fire Charles.
Oh, that. Well, good. I'm glad you didn't fire Charles, because if you were to fire Charles, then there wouldn't be anybody left to own the station, and I'm not sure that would go well.
Well, I would have turned it over to the robots.
Not sure that would go well either. Anyway, you didn't have to fire him, so we don't have to worry about it.
No, but I got a beef with Old Man Winter and Jack Frost now.
I wouldn't mess around with Old Man Winter. He can do a lot worse than what we have recently seen, you know.
Yeah, but he made me late for work and missed some hours, so I'm gonna have to even the score.
Why were you late for work?
Well, because of him, I couldn't get my reserve ride to come get me.
Oh, okay. Well, what happens? What happens at your place when you're late for work?
Well, another guy was he lived closer, so he got there and got everything started. I came in, helped him, and we got everything straight on schedule.
Do you get any sort of sanctions, a reduction in rank, or something like that?
No, we're just late. I called and tell him I was going to be late.
All right. Well, you might want to work on that so that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, probably going to have to buy a snowmobile.
Okay, that might be an idea. Can't you just equip your moped for bad weather driving? Can't you put snow
Nah,
tires on a moped?
no, it won't work. I thought about changing it to tracks, like they do some of these vehicles today, but
Oh yeah.
it ain't going to work. It'll cost too much, so I'm just going to have to stick with. I'm going to make things better.
Cost too much? I thought you were wealthy.
I am wealthy, but I don't blow my money because everybody's getting tired of it.
All right. Well, no, I don't think I've ever seen a tracked moped. I'm not sure you can get that.
Nah, I don't think so. But if I go out and buy a truck, I can buy. They got them where you can drive your wheels up on a track and become a track vehicle.
Oh, all right. I might want to look into that for my truck.
Oh, it's great. I mean, all you got to do is drive it. I mean, I think they snap on, like, ride them up into there and it's equipped.
Snap on, snap on tank treads for your pickup
I
truck.
think. Well, I've seen them on YouTube.
Wow. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it where they take their vehicle and ride. Other words, it somehow adapts to it somehow.
Okay.
But
I gotta
but
look into
I'm
that.
but I'm well, I'm still not going to think about getting even with Old Man Winter and Jack Frost.
All right. Well, I'm not sure exactly how you go about doing that, but if it can be done, I have no doubt that you will do it.
Oh, don't worry, I'll spare no expense to get even with both of them.
Now, there may be snow again on Wednesday of next week, there's a chance of snow.
Well, look like I'm just gonna have to. Well, I'm probably gonna have to go rent a room close to the work.
Why can't you just sleep there?
No, really, I'm not sleeping there. I mean, it's not no bed. It's not a bed.
I slept.
What my
I spent a night in Hardee's once.
wow.
I
was
did.
was it? Did you enjoy it? Was it a good sleep?
No, it was not.
Oh, one of my managers made a joke. I should put a room up on the top of the building.
All right. Uh, you
Well,
could
I
you
could I
could
could
put
get
a
one of these
tent.
pop up.
You could pitch
Yeah,
a
I could get
tent
a
up
pop up.
there.
Yeah, probably could, and probably insulate it properly at the bottom. Get a nice little heater system and fix it. Where the smoke. I mean, it won't keep. One of these heat lamps or whatever.
Hmm.
Probably wouldn't be too bad of an idea.
I probably not. Maybe you could just live there full time. Then you'd never be
Uh,
late again. You'd always be at work.
oh no, that ain't working. That ain't gonna happen.
All right. Well, keep us posted on that, and thank you for calling.
Well, thank you for letting me have a little fun, sir. Nice seeing you. Talk to you tomorrow, sir.
Good night. Yeah, I did. I did spend a night at Hardee's once. I'm not really going to talk about it though. Probably the less said about the night I spent at Hardee's, the better. Is my view of it. So let's move on over here to some emails. Punch that, punch this, punch that, and now we'll answer the phone. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yeah, I saw the weather forecast tonight too, Ken. The European models predicting snow next Tuesday night and Wednesday. So, with the highs in the 20s for a couple of days after that. So whatever falls will be here a while.
Yeah. Now, do we really need the Europeans though interfering with our weather? I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I think it's the most accurate forecast we can get, Ken. If you compare that with the U.S. system, I think it hits more so than the U.S. model does. I think.
I had a meteorologist told me it. A meteorologist. I'm not sure how to phrase this sentence. I had a meteorologist tell me that the European model was usually more accurate than the U.S. model. Of course, all my confidence is in the Old Farmer's Almanac, so I don't really fool around with either of those models.
Yeah, you're right. I mean that Old Farmer's Almanac is never wrong. I mean,
Never.
it's gonna hit one way or the other, so you can always count on it, right?
I have never known the Old Farmer's Almanac to be wrong.
True, so true. Ken, I don't know the guy's name. The guy that called in last night about the Trump bass, Trump fish thing.
The Trumpy trout. Yes.
Yeah. Does he have a stage name? I can't remember what his call-in name is. Does he have one?
No, I don't think we call him anything. Uh, no, he does. You mean like Citizen D or Mr. Draper or Mr. Pelham? No, he doesn't have one. Maybe he needs to adapt one.
Yeah, I wish he would, Ken. It's awful interesting. I enjoy every time he calls in. I mean, it's always got some good things to talk about. So I wish he would come up with a stage name or something and make it easier to relate to.
Yeah. Well, if he's listening, maybe he can put some of his people to work on that right now.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think Hegseth's going to get the confirmation to become the Secretary of Defense?
I think he will. I think that he will be confirmed. Yeah, I do.
I'm afraid he will be too, Ken. I don't think he's qualified for the job, but I'm pretty much sure he'll be get the nomination for it. I mean, get the seat without a doubt. But personally, I don't think he deserves it with no more qualifications than he's got.
Well, he does not have the kind of background that secretaries of defense normally have. That is true.
Yeah, yeah. I predict pretty much, you take it with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty much sure all of Trump's nominations will be confirmed. I mean, it's. I think we're going to have a rough road to hoe, with everybody getting in. I think this project 2025 is going to hit hard and steady here right after January the 20th. So, look at all these fires and everything that's going on. I know that's not Trump's fault. Don't get me wrong on that. But look at all the houses and everything that's burned in California alone. If he does this deportation thing, where in the world is we going to get the people to rebuild those houses at if he does the deportation like he's talking about doing?
Well, it's impossible for me to answer that question. I I do know. I mean, I'm pretty confident that some number of people who work in the construction industry are going to be deported if this happens. I mean, it's not possible that some of them won't be. How many? I don't know. I know the guys who came and rebuilt my house. They were all Mexican, and I asked them, like, like that's going to do it. I asked them if they were in the country legally. And they all said, "Yeah, we are here legally." Of course, what are they going to say, right?
Right.
But so I don't know. I don't know how many construction workers will go if all undocumented people are deported. I don't know the answer to that, but there certainly will be some.
Yeah. I think he's basically just using it for a threat, Ken. I think it was just part of his campaign. Originally he'd said in 16 that, he's going to build the wall. Mexico was going to pay for it. We know how that turned out, but
well,
I think it was just what I think.
He's going to run into resistance from a lot of his own supporters on the deportation. I'm not saying he won't do it. I'm just saying he's going to get resistance, obviously from Democrats, but not just from Democrats. He's going to get resistance from a lot of his own people, particularly agricultural interests, particularly construction companies. They are going to not want him to do that because they know, I don't know, but they do know how many workers they would lose if it happened. And there'll be stuff going on that we might never see or hear about, stuff going on behind the scenes.
Right.
But he is going to he is going to get complaints from part of his constituency. Now, how that'll actually turn out, I don't know, but it's going to be there.
Well, I'm like you, Ken. I agree with that totally. But I'm around a lot of building, projects and stuff. I don't do a whole lot myself now, but do a little bit. But I'm telling you, if you hire somebody, I don't care if it's a plumber, electrician, or construction work, and heaven knows, without the migrants, we could not, raise any tobacco in this country anymore. It don't seem like, and apples, fruits, vegetables, whatever. I mean, we just starve to death without their help. So I just don't see how that's going to happen and continue for the economy and the growth of the country to maintain itself without them. I just don't see it happening.
Well, that brings us back to the work visas. Of course, that is I think Elon Musk started the current round of discussions on that, saying there would have to be work visas because we couldn't do without them. And then he got some disagreement from Steve Bannon and others. But I think work visas will certainly be part of the picture. I think they'll have to be.
Yeah, I do too, without a doubt. All right, Ken, thanks so much for taking my call, man. I really enjoy your show, and I hope the man comes up with a stage name tonight.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Phone line is open. You can call us at that number, or you can email kechos47@gmail.com. And this emailer is asking about the Medicare prescription drug cap. Ken, did that Medicare prescription drug limit take effect like it was supposed to on January 1st? And can you tell me how it works? Yes, it took effect on January 1st, and we'll speak more about that in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Kansas, Mark Madan.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, Mark. How are you?
Okay, that's good. Has Charles from Daniel called in yet? I was in there my mom was fixing homemade French fries a while ago. I ain't seen I didn't get to watch it from the beginning.
Well, I don't blame you. I would go for the homemade French fries myself. Yes, he did call in a few minutes ago.
Oh, do y'all know when Masked Singer starts back up again?
I don't know. It might be this week. It might be next week. I don't know, Mark. It'll be soon. I've seen a promo for it already, so it's going to be soon.
Yeah, I know the Voice. I think it starts February 3rd. I think
the day after Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I thought I called see if you knew. It might be February when the Masked Singer starts again. I can't remember.
I don't know. Maybe if somebody knows, they will let us know.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Mark, and enjoy those French fries. Homemade French fries. Good things. The Medicare prescription drug cap stops your expenditures at $2,000 for a year. That's the basis of it. It says if you have a Medicare prescription drug plan, this is if you have the Medicare Part D prescription drug plan, then you will not be required to pay more than $2,000 out of your pocket in a year for drugs that are covered by your Part D prescription plan. Now, bear in mind, it only applies to medicines that are covered by Medicare Part D. Not covered by Medicare Part D, then it's out from under the cap. But I mean, I don't know how often you have to use something that's not covered. Not very often, I hope, but I don't know. But the thing to remember is, if the prescription is covered by Medicare Part D, then once you have spent $2,000 out of your pocket for a year, then you will have to spend no more for prescription drugs covered by Medicare Part D. For some people, that's going to make a big difference. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Ken, Charles Danville here.
Hello.
Oh, hold on. I got the information.
All right. Now
Wednesday, February the 12th at 8 p.m. on your local Fox station, sir. I'm sorry to call back.
Well, I know, and we're going to fine you. You'll get an invoice in the mail. You'll have a fine to pay. But we understand why you did that. So it is February the 12th.
Yes, sir. 8 p.m. on your local Fox station.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, there you go, Mark. Wednesday, February 12th at 8 o'clock on your local Fox station. So it's good. It's good in two ways. One, it's good that we got the information, and it's good now that I will have a little bit of money in my pocket when Charles from Danville pays his overcall fine. And Charles, that's due 10 days after receipt of the invoice. Please remit promptly. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Ken.
Yes.
This is Briscoe from Huntsville.
Hey,
I'm having to
Briscoe.
call on my cell phone.
Oh.
I've got a complaint.
What is it, Briscoe?
I have a home phone landline through what used to be, I forget what, but it's Brightspeed now.
Mm-hmm.
And my phone went out, home phone went out yesterday.
Okay.
it's still out today.
All right.
I ran into at the post office here in Madison, ran into a serviceman for Brightspeed who had whatchamacallit on the truck. But anyhow, I asked him for a phone number that I could call and try to get my phone service restored.
Right.
He looked on his cell phone or whatever and gave me a number, a toll-free number, and I called it. I talked to a female. I could barely hear her. She was talking with a foreign accent, and the best I can understand, I'm going to get a serviceman out here to reconnect my phone or do whatever's necessary on Friday,
Okay.
January the 31st,
Oh,
and wanted to know if it'd be a adult here, 18 years or older, between 8 and 5, when he was scheduled to come. I said, yes, there will be. And that is ridiculous.
January 31st.
Friday, January 31st. Here it is, what's day, the 14th or so?
14th, yes. So that's
that's ridiculous.
That's 2 weeks and 3 days from today.
Something like that. That is ridiculous. And the lady.
Did you?
Go ahead.
Did you ask them? I mean, I know you probably wouldn't have done any good. Did you ask them why it takes so long?
No, I had to come back home to make the call and pick up my cell phone.
Good grief.
No, I think he was a computer or something because I think he was doing some service in the Madison post office, a computer or something. I don't know what it was. Might have been telephone.
All right. Has your phone's been out before, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And I think before it took about a week to get the service replaced.
So
but now from yesterday till January 31st, and the lady I was talking to, I could barely hear her. She was talking with some foreign accent. I'm a little hard of hearing myself, but she said something about $90 or $99, and I tried to pin her down. I said, well, am I going to have to pay $90 or $99 for a service person to come out here and replace my phone service? And I could not understand the answer.
Well, I hope not.
I don't know where I was talking to somebody.
You're already paying for it. You know.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Part of the thing that you're paying for is to have a phone that works. I hope they're not going to charge you extra to make it work.
Well, I will not pay it. I'll discontinue it.
Wow. Now, do you have internet with them too?
No, I do not have a computer. Never have had,
okay.
and never will have.
That's right. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. Well, Briscoe, I cannot begin to imagine why it's going to take 17 days to get somebody to your house. I don't understand it.
Well, I got a email back on my cell phone. I think it was an email. I don't know what you call it. Back on my cell phone, and I looked at it and said confirming 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on January 31st, a service person would be here.
Okay.
And I didn't know how to confirm it because I don't know how to use computer or cell phone. I mean, I can make a call and receive a call. That's all I can do.
Well,
at my age.
Let's hope let's hope they don't cancel it because you didn't confirm it.
Well, I hope not. If I can find, I thought the former telephone carrier was Centel or Central Telephone, whatever, and they had at one time had a place in Reedsville. I don't know where I can call them tomorrow or not, and maybe get somebody speaking English that I can understand.
You know, I hate to say it, but I doubt it. I expect any number you call is going to ring in India or wherever that is. I expect.
Well, it was a foreigner.
Yeah,
But
it's offshore.
I don't know where anybody here in this area that has Brightspeed or whatever it is phone company. I don't know where anybody else is having the problems or not. But if they are, I'd appreciate they would call in to you, and I'd like to know.
Well, that's if there are any other Brightspeed customers, if you're having a bad experience, or if you're having a good experience, you can do that too. Let us know. And Briscoe, we wish you luck with that. Keep us posted.
Well, I need a home phone because at my age, never can tell when you have an emergency. You have to call somebody.
No, I
can't even call. I can't even call 911 on my home phone.
All right. Well, I hope they get it fixed on the 31st, Briscoe. Let us know how that goes.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm sorry to bother you.
No, you didn't bother us, Briscoe.
Thank
you for calling. Thanks for calling. Let's see who's over here. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello? Are you there?
Yes, are you?
I am here. We're both here.
Okay. Okay. Well, where are we?
That's kind of the eternal question, isn't it? Where are we?
Okay. Okay. Hey, I had a run in with Brightspeed.
Okay.
And the guy come walking down the road and sold me on Brightspeed on my front porch.
Okay.
And I honestly thought I was getting internet, home phone, and TV for the price he quoted me.
But you weren't.
And no, it turns out all you get from Brightspeed is Wi-Fi.
Right. Well, you can get
phone. That's all you get.
But you can get phone too.
Yeah, phone your phone works off your Wi-Fi you get from them.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you buy it and have it installed?
They were installing it. They had already put the box on my house. They'd already run the wire from 2 streets up and run it down the poles into my house and hooked it to the box. And then when I found out that all they wanted $99 a month just to provide me with Wi-Fi. And that just floored me because I thought Brightspeed was really doing us a good deal with the TV, phone, and Wi-Fi for $99.
That would be a good deal. That would be a really good deal.
Yeah, so the morning I called, they stopped here to bury the line. They brought a machine to bury the line. And I told them I'd canceled. It didn't go on. And so they left. And I called Brightspeed and said, I want to get out of this. And all I could do was chat with Texas.
Okay.
Nobody, I could not talk to a person at all. And the guy that I was texting with said, look, we just hooked you up for free. We gave you a free month. I said, I don't care about that. I said, it's not what I want. I said, I'll get high-speed Wi-Fi from my Spectrum. He said, well, good luck on that. Do you know how long it's going to take you to do that? I said, yeah, for me to replug it back up because it's never been disconnected from my house.
Well, now,
and
so you never actually worked. You never actually used the Brightspeed internet then?
No. When they got mad at me and told me if I didn't send the 3 boxes back, it cost me over $200 a piece for the boxes within 30 days. And so I got them sent back, no problem. But I went out there and took my pocket knife and cut the wire, the fiber optic cable from the box, drug it out of my yard and piled it up the road up there.
All right. Now,
we're still hooked.
The reason I ask if you ever used it is because it is supposed to be a lot faster because it's fiber optic. But I've never experienced it from Brightspeed.
But high-speed internet is high-speed internet. It can't be, but you know,
Well,
the high speed your provider can provide you.
well, yeah, but there is a difference though. If it's going to come at one speed, if you've got a copper line, and it's going to come at a different speed if you have a fiber optic line. So it could theoretically be faster. I don't know if it is or not, but theoretically it could be.
Yeah. Well, I just know I have my computer where it goes to sleep in 10 minutes after after nothing's being done on it.
Right.
And so when I move my mouse in the mornings, in 2 seconds my screen is up, and if I left it on a site I was at, that site's still there.
Right.
And if I didn't, then I get the all of my icons to choose from where I want to go and what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
And so that's the way I do that. I just put my computer to sleep, save time, money, but the screen's never turned off, but it goes off with the computer.
Now,
the
bright speed, I don't know if you talked about this with them or not. I believe bright speed has a data limit, a monthly limit as to how much you can
They
use.
do. They do. And then they said you can share or something like that. And I thought, well, this don't sound good.
Well,
they do have a monthly limit, yes.
And it's a pretty high limit. It's something like two terabytes. I don't know exactly how much it is, but there are people who would exceed that.
2 terabytes? How can you exceed 2 terabytes?
No, it's not 2 terabytes. I don't remember precisely what it is.
We can't exceed 1 terabyte.
Well, I'm talking about the total data that travels over your system.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
but anyway, I'm curious, have you ever done an internet speed test on your Spectrum to see how fast it is?
No. I count 3 seconds, it's on.
Well, then it's pretty fast. But if you go online,
yeah, I'm online.
If you go online and search for internet speed test, just click the thing there, and it'll measure and it'll tell you how fast your internet is moving.
Okay.
And chances are, I mean, you would expect that if you have fiber optic, it'll be faster than if you have a copper line. But if yours is fast enough to serve your needs, then that's really all that matters.
Well, I'll tell you, if it was any faster, my eyes couldn't keep up with it.
All right. Well, maybe you don't need it. You don't need to be any faster then.
Or my brain, one or the other.
Then it sounds like you're in pretty good shape already then. And Spectrum does not have a monthly limit.
Right, and I canceled my house phone because I was getting 10 spam calls a day on it, and tired of doing that and deleting it and all of that stuff. So I got rid of the house phone and just have the cell phone now.
Well, the spam's coming to your cell phone too if it's not there already.
Oh yeah. Now it's on my cell phone. Yeah, but at least it's not two phones it's on.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess that's an advantage. Yeah. Well, thanks for calling.
I cut the spam in half anyway. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you. And appreciate that call. The internet speed test, when I test mine here, and I have Spectrum, I get about on average now, 200, between 200 and 250 megabits per second is my internet speed. And that's a lot faster than it used to be. It used to be under 100. So I don't know what Spectrum has done or where, but they've done something that has speeded it up in the last little while. And that's not fiber optic speed. I know fiber optic could run it a lot faster than that, but it's fast enough for what I need to do. So that's really the ultimate question with all this. Is it doing what you need it to do? Ken, there is, wait a minute, it just faded away. I'll get it back. Ken, there is a story today that I read about how they have a new warning to put on cigarette packages that says it will be more graphic than the old warning, but a judge has told them that they won't be allowed to use it. Explain that. Well, uh, you know, a federal judge somewhere, I think in Texas, I believe in Texas, federal judge uh, ruled today that well, let's go back. First things first. The FDA has come up with a new rule for health warnings on cigarette packs, and it would be a much more graphic health warning. I don't know exactly what it would be. I don't know because I don't see very many cigarette packs, but it would be more graphic. That's all I know. It'd be more graphic. Uh, and somebody sued, and a federal judge in Texas, I'm sorry, said today that the FDA cannot use that pending the final outcome of the lawsuit. That's about all I know about it. I'll read up on that one and try to learn a little bit more about it tomorrow night. But I don't know exactly what the basis of the judge's ruling was. I just saw that myself late today. Uh, so I'm not going to guess at it. I will look it up and read more about it, and I'll be able to tell you more about it tomorrow as things progress. But anyway, the new warning cannot be used, at least for the time being, because of that judge's ruling. Ken, go back to that thing about Medicare drug costs. If I'm using a prescription that's not covered by my Part D plan, then there's no limit to how much I can pay. Is that what you said? Yeah, that's what I said. The $2,000 limit only applies to prescriptions that are covered by your Medicare Part D plan. So that makes it all the more important. Well, it's always been very important, but this makes it even more important that you make certain you understand what's covered by your plan, because it's not like a Medicare Part D plan covers these drugs, and it's a one same for everybody. It's not. It depends on what you buy. So make sure you understand what your Part D covers and whether you are using something not covered by Part D. If you're using something not covered by Part D, again, the cap does not come into play. It's also worth noting that was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. That's a provision of the Inflation Reduction Act, which Republicans have said, and politicians say things, but they don't always do them. Republicans have said that they are going to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act, lock, stock, and barrel. Some, not all, some Republicans have said that they're going to try to repeal that. So if they did repeal it, then this would go away, and none of this would matter anymore. There wouldn't be any $2,000 yearly limit if they repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. Of course, it's also possible that they would repeal some of the Inflation Reduction Act and not all of it. We don't know. We can only guess at that. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah. Yes, it's very interesting conversation tonight. But I agree with Mr. Pellin as far as our workforce. Now, with as little work as you needed, which was a lot, but not a complete rebuild and all of those, the Mexicans were your last resort. And if I remember correctly, you said one set of our contractors you talked to them, but they never showed up. Was that correct?
Yeah, I talked to I talked to about 7 different contractors. One never showed up. There were 3 who showed up and looked at it and said they didn't want to do it. They just didn't want to do it. And then there were a couple who said they would do it and they would send me an estimate, but they never sent me an estimate. So I went 0 for 6. The first 6 I tried, I couldn't get any of them to do anything.
Yep. And say, even with the much needed Mexican help, we are still short. We still come up short. And constructions are not finished on 1 million. I think they said was 1 million new construction filed for application, within the last quarter. And so with construction needed on the new businesses, and we don't have enough help to fill out the old businesses.
Well, we are short of labor in that area. We are, but of course the ideal thing is to get enough labor and to get it legally. With everybody working according to the law. I mean, that's what we need to shoot for.
Yeah, but that goes back to visas. Sure. And if we need more people to do visas, you need more judges and all like that to process and implement the visa process, the visa, situation. Then that's where we need to look at, because the manpower is there. There's plenty of people that want to work, want to do the jobs, and the manpower is there. So we should figure out how to speed up the visa process,
Well, I agree with that, and that's basically what Elon Musk said, and got a couple of people mad at him for saying it. But once you running for president is one thing, and being president is a different thing. And I expect this. What I expect is that when Donald Trump becomes President Trump again. He's going to look at this. I mean, he's a businessman. Surely he certainly would understand this, and I'm pretty confident that he's going to work out a way for foreigners to work in this country, but to try to work out a way for them to do it legally. Now that's going to be a big and complicated job, and it's not going to be quick. So I don't know what's going to happen while we work on that, but we do need those people to work.
Yep, and I ask my Republican friends and all that text in each night that who will finish these jobs that Biden created. And a large percentage are good paying jobs. And who will work those much needed jobs? As Elon Musk says, the jobs that Americans refuse to work.
And
go ahead.
You go ahead, and then I'll talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
And isn't that a big part of the problem too? How come Americans don't want? Why don't Americans want to work? These are good, respectable jobs, good paying jobs, honorable jobs. Why are there so many Americans who don't want these jobs?
And some of these jobs paying starting off $20 an hour, Ken, and we got 100 jet build that new facility and the runways and everything up there. But my question, and they say they will send people to college, train them free if they just come to work for them when they get in it. So they made all kind of incentives, But the thing that I asked, because they talked about food prices, when the shelves are empty because the food are rotting in the field, who will work those jobs?
We'll see.
All right. Thanks, Ken. Enjoy your show.
Well, thank you for calling. Good to hear from you. We have, let me look at the clock here. Whoa, time flies. We have about 9 minutes or so for your questions and your emails on this edition of Star Talk. The phone lines open up there, and you can call us or email us at KECHOLS47 at gmail, excuse me, gmail.com. Ken, I ordered me stand by. I ordered me a Trumpy trout. I'm not going to use it for myself, though. I'm going to give it as a birthday gift to a friend of mine. Don't you think it's a great idea for a gift? Well, that's what it says on the ad. If you look at the Trumpy trout ad, it says right there, great gift idea. So I guess. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening, Ken. Go ahead and finish that email first.
Oh, I finished it. He just wanted to know if I think it's a great gift idea. I know you do because you got the ball rolling on this.
Well, I don't know how to take that, but I pondered it for a little while in response to Mr. Pelham.
Yeah.
I figure a good identifier might very well be Mr. ETJ.
Oh yeah, that I should have thought of that. Mr. ETJ for extraterritorial jurisdiction.
There you go.
So be it. But you know, since you brought it up, anything to report on that front?
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing to report on that front is apparently I'm the only individual in this planet tilting it at that windmill.
Well, then that's tough. that's not a good prognosis there.
You know, and it's very striking to me that nobody catches on that this is a basic violation of the Constitution of the United States by the Supreme Court of the United States. And nobody seems to catch that. I just don't get it.
You know, nobody, in cases like this, normally nobody thinks very much about a thing like this until it hits home, until they get directly affected by it. And apparently not very many people have lately been directly affected by it.
Which is fascinating because there's a large group of people. It happens around every municipality in town in this state.
Right.
I understand it happens in 38 other states also.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of population that actually falls under these regulations and never stops to think about it.
Not until something happens that hits them in the face.
Right. You know, the funny thing is the town of Eden says to me, well, we do this to protect our future financial gains.
Right.
Should we annex your land?
Right.
Okay, so you're covering your money wise in case you decide to take my land from me again.
Well, and the state of North Carolina has decided several times that that's something that cities have to have.
Exactly. And herein lies the rub. Herein lies the rub. As the person who lives on that line, I can't say a word if they decide to put a landfill directly across the road from me. That's
right. That's right. They'll tell you just keep your windows closed and don't look.
So anyway, it seems to me a good moniker might be Mr. ETJ.
It is you, Mr. ETJ. It is.
Thank you, Ken. Have a good evening.
Thanks for calling. From henceforth and forever, as the government used to say in those treaties that they signed, For as long as the rivers shall run. It is. It is Mr. ETJ. Of course, we know how many of those treaties worked out, but this probably will work out better than that. Let's see. Just, to watch the clock. This is so complicated. This is hard. I have to look at stuff and watch the clock, and I'm just not smart enough to do this. That's why I struggle along. Emailer here says, Ken, I want to talk about the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America. Somebody asked last night if we actually have the right to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico. And you said we can change it. You said we can change it to call it anything we want to call it, and then everybody else will call it whatever they want to call it. Here's a question. Why couldn't we just nationalize the Gulf of Mexico? Why couldn't we just declare ownership of the Gulf of Mexico? And then we would have the authority to name it whatever, and everybody would have to call it that, wouldn't they? Yeah. Well, no, yes, no. You know, we can declare, we can certainly declare, just as we can declare that from now on we're going to call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. We certainly do that. We can also declare that the entire Gulf of Mexico is now the United States territory. We claim the whole Gulf of Mexico. It's ours now. It's part of the United States. We can do that too. But again, the rest of the world probably would not recognize that. So we could come to a situation where, I don't know, say a container ship from somewhere, container ship from Denmark or France or Singapore or somewhere is about to enter the Gulf of Mexico to deliver something to somebody in Belize, which is another country on the Gulf. And we say, well, actually, you're entering the United States. Now, when you enter this Gulf, you're entering the United States because we have declared this to be part of the U.S. So you're going to have to pay us a certain amount of money to move through here. And in fact, you're going to have to go through customs too before you can come here. The rest of the world would balk at that, and they would refuse to do it. So then what does it come to? Okay, if you refuse to do it, we will send the Navy and sink your ship. And, you know, that could get really, really complicated on a lot of different levels. So I doubt that we'll do that because we'd be asking for a whole lot of complications that we don't really need. So what I expect we'll do is Congress will, if this gains some momentum, we may do nothing. I don't know. But what we might do is Congress will pass an act that say from now on, we're going to call it the Gulf of America. And that's fine. We'll call it that. And everybody else will call it the Gulf of Mexico. And that's okay. The world will continue. That's not going to be a big problem for anybody. Not the kind of problems that would arise if we tried to nationalize the Gulf of America / Mexico. So anyhow, that's about all there is to say about that. It'll be interesting to see what, if anything, the president or the Congress decides to do in that field. And that is all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Echols.